some creative ideas and say that you're trying to put together a lesson plan and you don't know where to really start, and so you just want a little structure, right? You can use that for your advantage, right? It's not that it's like we as human beings, as you mentioned, our connections is what matters, our experiences, our emotions, and so our writing feels different when it's written by us. It is different when it's written by us. And that's when people are like, man, I really felt like you were talking about me when I read that. I really felt like you were watching me somehow because I feel the same. So it's never going to be able to replace our human experiences, but it can be like, again, a lesson plan, a workshop that you just need, a structure. But other than that, I think that you have to ask yourself the question, do I really want to use AI to write my things? Like, is that an honest question? Because I don't see
Ready? So you have Faneo, and who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Erica Cole.
Nice to meet you.
Thank
So
you.
you have this book in your
Yes,
hand. Do you
yes.
want to tell the audiences a little bit about it?
Absolutely. So actually, I went through a rough time. Everybody knew about COVID, what happened with COVID. But during that year, I also lost my sister tragically. And then the following year, I had 2 miscarriages, and I've always been that woman that has taken on the weight of the world. I'm going to be the strong person. I'm going to be the person in charge of the family. I've been successful, been blessed to be successful in different industries. But those 2 years hit me hard. And for the first time, I literally thought I was going to break. I had never seen a counselor before, had never done therapy before. And so I said, I need to take this time for me. And one of my girlfriends said, you should actually just journal. People don't know, sometimes when you're successful, people don't know the things that you go through because you hide it so well. And so I took the time. It was at first kind of personal, and it was just for me making the notes. And then I said, you know what? If sometimes we go through some things in life to kind of help us find our individual purpose. And my purpose, I feel like, is to help other women and men see the purpose in themselves.
Wow.
Yes. So I began to go to, and it's called Broken Pieces Created My Purpose, because everything I've been through, whether it would be divorce, health, relationship with my sister, losing her tragically, bankruptcy, infertility, and then having miscarriages, so many things, but how it brought me full circle to what I'm really supposed to do. And I'm doing motivational speaking, I'm doing healthcare wellness, I'm doing things, with mental illness, because my sister was tragically killed by her son who had mental illness. And so this is a part of my story now. And so while I was doing this, I said, you know what, I want other people to read my book and then kind of work through their broken pieces and how it's going to get them to their purpose. So I created a journal too that's basically a combination. So if anyone's interested, they can go to my website, ericacole.com, EARICA, Cole, COLE.com. I'm all over social media. I'm a social media influencer, so you can find me on every different, whether it be Twitter, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, all of that. Even if you're going to see me dancing on TikTok, but just showing you how, again, don't stay there. Don't stay there. Like, there you can get beyond that. And so there's life after. But you got to push past. You have to move forward. And if you have a gift or calling and you know it's something that you're supposed to be doing, go with that.
Go with that, yep.
Yeah, because sometimes that's what's happening. It's trying to push us out of the way or distract us, or we get very complacent, And so I'm really trying to help, especially in our community, understand their gifts and talents, and they need to push past and move into their purposes.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, dang, you said a lot.
Yes.
That's
You
good,
ask me
though.
no questions.
That's good.
Right.
So the last question, we have Black Writers Weekend.
Yes.
For the audience that may not know,
Yes.
what is something that you're trying to push being here at an event like this?
I think, again, there's so much talent in our community that is really overlooked. I've worked in corporate America for almost 18 years in the financial industry, and I had the opportunity to meet on the back end so many talented African Americans that people just don't know about. So the fact is, as a community, we can come together and do things like this to celebrate each other and to introduce, ourselves to each other. I think it says a lot. I had the pleasure to see some of these people while we were in Essex, and that's what brought my awareness about this. Right, I brought my awareness about it because I didn't know that this existed. And so how now we can use social media to put our things out more so that people know to show up.
Well, you're here. So we said a lot, which is good. So make sure y'all support.
Yes,
it's Faneo, and this is
Erica Cole.
We out it.
Thank
Peace.
you.
How y'all doing? This is Faneo, and who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Limira.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
I
you.
told her when I first saw her, I love her, the
Thank
image
you.
of the hair, what it embraces. Can you tell me a little bit of what you're doing right here?
So I'm working on, this is really just a project. It's not really for a client or anything, but I'm working on this painting called Empress.
Okay.
So I'm working on a series of just like empowering women. She's gonna have like a gold halo. I really want to focus on this series of painting women that see themselves as empress, as queens. Just a really powerful series that I'm working on right now. As I continue doing like other flower hit.
Yeah, I noticed this right here and all of that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, this one is femininity. This one is my very first one I did in 2018 called Transcending, everyone's favorite. So yeah, I'm just right now working on just a different series. I want to go somewhere that's kind of really resembling. How can I say? I don't want to say like Greek god, but like a black Greek goddess.
I can see that. I can see that. Yep.
Yeah, like I would say something that kind of reminds me of like the paintings like back in the day that look very, like the Venus paintings.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I forget the artist's name. Like Salvador paintings and whatnot. Just a little bit of influence there. So yeah, this is just a series that I'm just working on of women empowering painting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're Black Writers Weekend. If y'all weren't aware, what is something that you're trying to gain from being at an event like this?
Exposure here in Atlanta, because this is where I'm living currently. So
where you from?
Southeast Georgia, Hinesville,
Okay,
Georgia.
okay.
912, baby, 912. So I'm just trying to get like more exposure, people to just really know like who I am, really just get myself out there, which they will. You guys will know who I am. It's gonna be big. So yeah, just getting myself out there.
And where can the viewers reach you?
You guys can reach me on Instagram for sure. My name is Lymaira, so that's Lymaira_. Lymaira_. And I have like my website there. I also do handmade Palmer clay earrings. I make them by hand. They're very lightweight and hyperallergenic. Super, super lightweight. I do custom orders. I do commissions. So just check out my website. I'm open to pretty much anything creative, really. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thank y'all. Thank you for taking time to interview. And y'all see y'all. Bye-bye. And who do I have the pleasure speaking with?
I'm Jeffrey St. James.
Nice to meet you. You got swag. Hey, you got some swag. The brim you got. You know what I'm saying? You're a creator. I love it.
Creative, yeah.
So, can you explain what's on this table right here?
So, it's mostly original artwork, and then we got some prints as well. But my style is called urban tribalism. That's what I coined it. So, it's a mix between like urban influences like graffiti and whatnot, and tribal influences from Africa and different places. So, you'll see a lot of colors. I'm a real big fan of color.
Okay.
But regardless of the scenario, I'm always try to put a little spice on it.
Yeah.
A little bit
How did you even tap into an industry like this? Cause it sounds like you got your own way.
Well, man, I don't really know. Life just took me that direction, man. I started painting on clothes, and I think I just gravitated toward this style. That's the style that when I first started, I didn't really quite have an idea because I'm self-taught. But as I kept going, I noticed this trend in my work that I was putting these markings, and I came up with, just describing it in a way that people can understand where it's coming from. Urban tribalism,
Urban tribalism. Can you explain that to the viewers? What exactly is that?
Urban tribalism is basically a mix of like I said, American graffiti and other urban influences. I started painting on clothing, so a lot of my techniques come from painting on clothes.
Okay.
So it's real hip hop influence kind of thing, but then you add in like some of the other techniques and some of the kind of the vibe from kente cloth, mud cloth, stuff like that. So when I saw mud cloth, I'm like, oh, I like that, but I want to put my own twist on it. So it's just it's a mix like me. You know, I'm an American dude, but got a lot of black influences, African, Native American, stuff like that. So I put that into my work.
That's dope. Okay, so we at the Black Writers Weekend. Coming to an event like this, you know, what is something that you're trying to gain from this?
You know, just collaboration, exposure. I'm on the panel, so I just want to be able to provide some good insight into what we do, into how you can be successful and being creative. I just want to be a good presence and catalyst, and bring some good vibes. Man.
So for the people that's not here at Black Writers Weekend, is that something you'd like to tell them?
I mean, it's just something we need to grow. Everybody get out here and experience the different writers, authors, poets, artists, screenwriters, filmmakers. You know, it's not just one type of writing or art. And then it's just a good cultural experience. Something to kind of open you up to different mindsets, different ways of creativity, different ways of expressing yourself. So, that's what I'm all about, man, expressing myself.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Well, there you have it. We got Faneo and we got
James, Jeffrey St. James.
We out. See y'all. So this is Faneo, and who do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
I am Azaria Blaze, the one and only.
Okay, nice to meet you.
You
Before
too,
we dive into this lovely table, we are here at Black Writers Weekend. Can you tell the people coming to an event like this, having a vendor's table, what is something that you're trying to gain from an event like this?
I really did this so that I can, for one, meet new people. It's a little tough sometimes trying to like market to your friends and your family, like too many biased opinions. So I really wanted to just immerse myself into this and meet new people, a different kind of crowd, people that actually love to read and love books. So I really wanted to do this and just expand and let people know what goes on in the model industry, for sure.
So now that we're talking about it, we have the book published, The Model Life.
Yes.
Can you explain to the people a little bit about
it? So we have been working on Published for about 1.5 years now. It's been a long journey, but it's basically a fictional novel based on my experiences as a model, as a designer, as my photographer, and just influencers and things that we go through behind the scenes when the camera's cut off, when the photo shoot is over, when the runway show is over, so that's kind of what this book is about, basically stepping into that other side of the life, the tears, the smiles, the trials, the tribulations, all of that.
So the adversity that you face with being a model,
yes,
you can ball that in and just keep going on your journey.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's important for you to share that to others?
Yeah, because there's so many, I feel like for one, there's so many people who think they can't be a model based off certain things like that they look like locks, like being too big or too small or too tall or too short. And there's no such thing, like there's literally a space for all of us to thrive in the model industry, but you have to know what you're getting yourself into. So that's kind of what this is about. In order to be a model, you got to be smart.
Yeah.
It's called Model Smarts. So yeah, just to give you a little insight about some of the things like your safety, security, your creativity, like all of those things play into being a model.
Dang, we respect it. We love it. And where can the people receive the book?
Well, the book is out now. You can find it on Amazon. You can get it from Barnes & Nobles, or you can just kind of come on tour with us and stop at these different events and come get one on hand. I have some on hand that I will be signing and selling as well. So we're planning a book signing. There's going to be tons of opportunities to get your hands on one of these, for sure.
Okay, all right, damn, we love it. And I guess I want to say last question. So the people that are up and coming models may not know where to start, may struggle with some confidence. What is some advice you'll give them?
It's so funny that you say struggle with confidence, because that's really where you need to start.
Wow.
You need to love yourself and know that whatever you in, wherever you go, you look damn good. That's where it starts, because you're not going to be a good model if you don't believe you look good. If that, oh my God, I'm scared, I'm this, it's going to show in your walk, it's going to show in your pictures and how you say things. It's going to show in your boundaries. It's going to show in all of that. So you have to be confident in who you are as a person. It's always step one.
So step one, she got a
Step
book.
one.
So can we have a step two? Do we have a movie?
Step
premiere from
two,
this?
yeah, I want to do a show for sure. I want to possibly get to like the series where we do episodes and things like that.
Okay.
A documentary possibly, but I got tons and tons of ideas. But definitely love on yourself. That's number one.
We love it. Thank you for your time. So
Thank you
have
guys
Fineo,
so
and
much.
we have
Azaria Blaze.
the.
See ya.
That was nice.
Hey.
Fineo, and who do we have the pleasure of speaking with?
MD Kirkley.
Nice to meet you. So before we dive into this lovely table, we are at Black Writers Weekend. For you having a venue at this weekend, what is something that you're trying to gain being here?
This is my first event, actually.
Okay.
So for me, it's exposure. Ultimately, I want to make movies. So I write in a cinematic perspective, but I need to get out there. So my publisher came because she keeps telling me I need to get out there. So this is now me getting out there.
All right. So now that we're talking, this table, this lovely table, can you tell our viewers about this wonderful table?
So it's just 3 of my books right now. I'm a cross-genre writer. So Milk is a everyday romance. It's no vulgarity, no cursing, but it speaks on women lacking accountability. The part of you sleeping with the best friend, lying about who the baby belongs to, but it's not ghetto in an ethnic perspective. And they are extremely educated. This one is smutty. I needed Jesus through this whole thing. I think he turned away when I wrote it. It's 3 novellas. The first 2 are already out. The third one will not be released. So if you don't get it in special edition, you won't get it at all. It has 2 audiobooks. It has 21 sex scenes. Pray for me. And they're extremely vulgar.
Why 21?
So each.
Why not 22?
Well,
Not 23, 24?
each one had 7 scenes per book.
Okay.
So Purple Honey is the first novella, and it is a poly relationship. There's a pegging scene, a man on man, threesomes, voyeurism, slave scene. Pray for me. She's both a sub and a dom. My mistress is a master slave, like a older man, younger woman king. Bianca's black, but she's French, so she's a Moor. And Roderick is Ginger, which is in Purple Honey, Ginger's father. And they're nasty. When I say nasty, they're nasty. But it turns into a thriller. So the thriller aspect is that initially he had a mistress, a madam, and when he decided to reject her going further, she began to stalk him, and she set the girl house on fire. And after she killed herself in the bed, then it was like, set the house on fire, shoot myself, lay in the bed. Yeah, pray for me.
So is this based on a true story?
A couple of them are.
Okay.
The pegging scene was definitely a true story. It's a true story. I've done a lot in life, right? And I'm not ashamed of it.
Okay.
It was an engineer. They get really different. There's the golden showers in this. There's this just kind of nasty. They say you write best what you know. Yeah. And this one is a realistic fiction. And this speaks on the dichotomy between mother and son. It releases late September. And it speaks on, this one I had to be completely naked with. It speaks on how men are taught how to be men before they're even taught how to be boys.
Wow.
How a lot of times you guys are given names that don't belong to you because the woman wants to pretend that a man that is not your father is your father. It speaks on the woman and the currency of her body, and how when it's rejected or he decides to go to someone else, how he acts a fool. It speaks on being poor. How people try to glamorize poverty. It speaks on the difference between loving and caring. And it speaks on how you have a living room with no furniture to live in. It gets really different. And this one speaks on suicide. It speaks on sexual assault. It speaks on everything. And the beauty about it, and I always tell people at the end of the book, because it still makes them want to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Through the entire book, he's driving, like they're on this way to a funeral, and they never tell you whose funeral it is. He talks about his mother, he talks about him. There's a vulnerable scene where he gets out and he's like surrendering to God. It's beautiful. And then he gets to the end of the book, and somebody goes up to the podium, and they're doing their, their speech and talking about the boy's life, or the person's life that they're going to see. And then he walks over to the casket, and Poverty's standing at the casket with his hands on it. And the father figure in the book, he says, "Until we meet again, I love you, Poverty." So he's actually dead the whole book. Yeah. And it's dope because what happened was, in the beginning of the book, he had a friend that died. He was like 7, 8 years old. And when his friend died, he was like, everything fell silent for him. It was kind of like freeze tag. So every chapter is reference to a game you played when you were around, when you were younger. So like Mother May I, because you had a mother but not the father. So Simon Said was played less. And it's really amazing because he said, everything felt cold for him. Nobody ran for him. Everything was numb for him. But come to find out, he was the one that died. So that's why he didn't see anybody coming for him. And he got shot playing the game, That's My Car. So the same car that he said was his car was the same car that killed him. And so this book speaks on the life he could have had, should have had, but never will have in poverty.
And where people can purchase these books?
So my IG is m.d.kirkley or _Kirkley. So Mary Kirkley. This is a pre-order. If you pre-order Poverty, you'll get the t-shirt and everything else that goes with it. All of us something you can buy from me on my site. This one, when I release it, it's going to have a linen cover with the gold endings to it. So it's a beautiful cover. And it's actually portions of it. That's my son. So it's portions of me and my son's relationship.
Oh, dope.
So I speak on how you can't be a broken woman and try to raise a man. So it speaks on a lot of different things. And honestly, this is my favorite book. As far as everything else I write, I'm a cross-genre writer. So I have a all-black melanated series called The Forever Dropping. And it speaks on, it's a whole planet and it's nothing but melanin. It's beautiful. I have a different respect for men. I understand their position. I'm a woman that believes a woman has a place. That's me, because I don't believe in equality, because I'm not taking out the trash. I don't care, I'm not cutting the grass. I believe in double standards. It is what it is. But I have a different place for men and not boys. There's a difference in it. And so the melanated fantasy series, it's amazing because it talks about our strength. And the first one is called The Forevers, subtitle Alchemy. The second one is called The Forevers, The Forgotten, and it speaks on slavery. So it's our history, but in a fantasy perspective. I have another one called Journey to Elysium coming. It's the Bible in fantasy. Grandma's eyes, and
you got so much. I gotta get on we gotta get on the show so we can really deep dive into this.
I have a lot, yeah.
So
I read a lot.
We're gonna wrap this interview up. We got Fenelle and we got
Mary.
We out. Peace.